Hello, traders. Welcome to this live webinar with Elite CurrenSea, of course. My name is Chris Svorcik, and happy to be here. Thank you for joining. First of all, want to check if you can hear and see us properly. So do you hear my voice? Do you hear what I'm saying? Please write a Y for yes. And also, please confirm if you see the visuals. You should be seeing a presentation within the middle, US options. So if you could be so kind to confirm that everything is working properly and we can start this webinar right away. All right, so please let me know. And we're going to dive into US options with my friend and co-trader, Marco Doni. Very excited to have him here with us. Great, Hugo. Happy to hear it. You can see it. Can you also hear me? I guess so. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to communicate with me. So if you could just confirm it still that you can hear me as well, then that's great. All right. Can you hear me as well? So Marco Doni, friend of mine for almost a decade, I guess. We went trading Forex together as well in the past. I have been a student of Marco in US options, and yeah, it's great to be here together with him. We've met many times in Italy and in Prague, and we love talking about trading. We love talking about the markets. So this time, Elite CurrenSea decided to expand with other types of trading. We, of course, thought about Marco right away into this webinar and us adding US options. So let me expand out the presentation so you can see it a bit better. There we go. So mastering options with Marco Doni from CNBC. Let's dive into why ECS is doing this. First of all, I'm going to explain a little bit about Marco Doni himself and why you could consider trading US options, first of all, and how to start. And then Marco is going to dive into an introductory part about options. So you have some feeling about what options is, and then you can decide whether options is for you or not. All right, so that's exciting. It's a little mini presentation where you'll get a good feeling about options and whether that's something that you would like to consider or not. So let's dive into ECS and options, why we're doing this. But before I do that, I do have an announcement. Some of you participated in a raffle, in a let's say a prediction, a contest to predict the oil June WTI price on the 2nd of June at 5 p.m. And we do have 3 winners. If they're here, they can come forward and confirm that they have won. That's one of the requirements and criteria. So the 3 winners are, drum rolls, Fontaine. I will write the names later on and repeat this later on. Again, Jonathan Russell and Roberto Rossi. So 3 winners, Fontaine, Jonathan Russell, and the third, Roberto Rossi. I'll write the names in the chat so you can actually see it visually as well. They were the closest to the price of 35.87. All right, so why is Elite CurrenSea diving and expanding with the options? We've been focused, of course, for since the beginning on Forex and CFD. Nanette and I started 2014, and we are Forex and CFD traders. Later, of course, Mislav joined us, and now Marco is joining us with a different type of trading. So what is this? Well, we want to also help traders with different types of trading, not only, let's say, more hands-on, more manual, more intensive trading, but also trading that is more passive and easier to manage for traders that don't have that time to be that active in the market, that might want to look things once per week or maybe at the end of the day. So this is a more passive type of trading, and options certainly fits the bill and meets that criteria. So yes, Marco, of course, for us was the number one partner to do this together. We know each other very long, and he's an expert and a master trader in options. Here you can see us meeting 2 years ago in the lovely place of Salo near Lake Garda. So a little bit more about Marco Doni so that you know a bit more about Marco before he takes over and kicks off his part about the options and why he's passionate about options. First of all, Marco is a contributor to CNBC Italy and does a wonderful job there several times a month nowadays. Explains his thoughts about options, his ideas, his trade setups, his past trade setups, and explains that on live TV. So that's great to see him in action there. He's also the author of 3 books on options. You can see those books down below. They're in Italian, so that might not be for everyone if you don't speak Italian, but don't be afraid. The course itself that we're presenting here is in English, okay? So that's not a hurdle. And Marco also obtained a CBOE options certificate, that's Chicago Board of Options Exchange, I believe, and he has a certification in options. So just to give you a general first kind of introduction, so what is the advantage? Why trade US options? Well, it's a great way to limit the risk and losses. So for instance, Marco will be much better in explaining this, but if you're trading stocks, it's a way less riskier version of that. In fact, we're not talking, and I should maybe emphasize this, we're not talking about binary options in any way, by the way. We're talking about US options. Okay, that's a whole different ball game, and it's a serious way of trading. Okay, it is less time intensive. It is way more passive. It's good for stock tactics as well, and it's very dynamic. You don't only use price movement like in Forex and CFD, but you can also use time and volatility to your advantage. So that's it from my side. I'm now going to pass it over and introduce my friend Marco. This is the first time we're kind of co-sharing a webinar together, so bear with us. I hope this goes well. This is a little bit new part for us, but I am going to close this.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, Hugo says yes, Calvin yes, Martin okay, good. I think we solved the issue about the webinar. Good, good, very good. The only thing that I can do now is share the slide. We'll be ready in 1 minute. Okay, do you see my screen, guys? Can you hear me? Can you see my slide? Okay. Okay, perfect. Here we are. Okay, so sorry for this little issue that we had, but it's a new platform for me, so it's my bad. I will introduce myself and explain the kind of experience that I have. I've been trading since 2008, okay, and with options. I started with stocks like in 1999, and I've been through all the different kind of asset that you can trade. I've been through Forex, I've been through futures, and I've been to options. And at the end of the day, what I like is that I found the asset that I like to trade that suits my personality. And because I'm not a very aggressive guy in trading, and I really don't like lose. Okay, so with Forex, I had results that wasn't really great before I met Chris. Then I finally learned how to trade Forex, but for me, it's too time intense. So I like to trade and maybe not being able to open the PC in 2-3 days. So that's the kind of trade that I like. And beside buying stocks and go long, which is a strategy, is the one that 95% of the people do. So buy stocks and keeping for the long haul. And but that is not really a kind of trade where you can have a good income or a monthly income as I have at the moment. Like about option is that you can have different approach, and you can be aggressive, you can be conservative, or you can be in the middle. So based on the strategy, you can have like a fixed income, like a monthly income based on particular strategy, or you can have like a more relaxed trading. And this is in the day-to-day, it's something really beautiful. First of all, I'm an entrepreneur. I have several companies. I invest in real estate. I invest in mobile. I invest in commerce, and we also have a firm that manage with our trading strategy. So as you can imagine, for me, the time that I dedicate to trading is something that needs to be very little. Okay, so let's go on with this slide, and let's see the experience. Okay. Okay. So, what is your level of experience with American option? I guess that if you are here, I can imagine that you might have heard about option, but you haven't traded option. So there is this thought about option that a lot of investors avoid them and find them too sophisticated and difficult to understand, which in one side is, I mean, option is not a really easy instrument to understand, but the good thing that you're gonna have in return learning option is that option there will be forever. It's an evergreen asset, and when you learn how to trade with option, it's something that they can teach to your children. So it's worth to dedicate time to learn an option. Over the years, the financial media have attributed riskiness and dangerousness to this instrument, and this is true because, you know, like selling short, if you don't know what you're doing, is always risky. So in reality, it is the incorrect use of option that can create losses. Okay, so knowledge is always the key. What we learned today: how to start with option immediately without confusion, so you can take advantage from the leverage option as a leveraged instrument, as you will see in a few minutes. You will see the basic of my strategy and how to profit from either bearish or bullish market, and even in a sideways. There are strategies that can allow you to create income even when the market is in a sideways. You will see how to avoid catastrophic losses using option correctly, and this is true above all when we have stocks in our portfolio. And my way of spotting stocks and ETF with higher profit potential. So this is what you will cover today. I hope you will like it. Why this is important for you? It is certain that you will witness multiple market crash in your life. You already have one, a big one. We lost 35%, but the market basically recover almost all the loss. So this event is going to be always something that will happen in the future. You need to know how to protect your portfolio in any market condition. So options are the better instrument to do that. And the more method you have for identifying potential profit, the more likely you will be making profits. Don't be scared about, you know, option. If you don't know anything about trading and you want to be in control of your financial future, this is the webinar that's for you. If you have spent years of trading with poor results and difficult methods and want to learn a simple and less risky method, then this is for you. If you are worried about economic stability and political problems, and we are now in this period, then this is for you, because you will learn how to make a profit on the market regardless of what will happen. As a matter of fact, my option team and I, we had March as one of the most profitable month that ever happened to us. So it was really incredible how we managed with option, and we got a very spectacular profit from March. Okay, so house rules. I just want to say that there are a lot of people, a lot of, you know, coach and teachers, and there is one new coach every single day about trading. One thing that I want to suggest to you guys is that you just look who is the guy who is speaking. So just Google his name and see what he's doing, what is his experience, where he study. You know, just see that the person that is speaking is an expert in the sector or in the trading strategy that is explained. This is very important. Okay. For me, option a trading option is a business. Okay, so it's not a get rich quickly scheme. Okay, because getting rich is something that you can achieve, but you need to be very disciplined. You have to learn first, and possibly from the best, make yours the strategy. And after you have, consistent success, return, then you can grow your account. Growing your account, it's something that can bring a lot of wealth. Okay, so the strategy that I'm going to show you, it requires commitment and discipline. Okay, and despite all, I just want to say that some might not be profitable. Okay. Yes, I burn some account. Let's say that usually uh, 2.5 account are burned from trading. Okay, I perfectly apply the rule, and I burn more than one account. But because when I started to study option, there weren't a lot of educational source out there. I learned from some courses I took in the United States. I was lucky I met some of the most famous option trading in United States. One of them is Scott J. Lord from strategytrade.com, who is actually a really good friend of mine and also mentor for me. And he has been a very important mentor to me. So when I learn from them, I of course apply the strategy. I personalize the strategy to fit, my personality. So it took me years to succeed in finding a profitable system. Actually, we found some profitable system. It depends, on the level of the education. So the most valuable lesson is learning from an expert rather than learning yourself. And it costs much less. Okay, that's a lesson that I've learned. And another thing with option is that for me, we have to teach. We have to teach. Sorry, simple things. So not very complex strategy, but for starting. So at the beginning, you need to learn the basic option and apply, the basics. So I always say to my student, keep it simple. Okay, case method. So the turning point for me, as I said, is thinking about trading as a business. Okay, I started to follow and apply simple principle. I just get used to the idea of getting rich slowly, rather than looking for a pattern to get rich quickly. This is important because it gives you peace of mind, because the money management that you are using at the beginning is very important. So if you learn how to manage the money properly at the beginning, this will prevent you from big loss that can stop you from trading. Okay. And I stopped chasing high profit, high risk trade, and start trading with less profit and of course less risk, but with more consistency. Consistency, guys, is the words that make you a winner in trading. Okay, you have to be consistent. And of course, for me, trading is a business and not a hobby anymore. So in Italy, not in Italy, but everywhere, they say I play with the market. When they say I play with the market, I kind of laugh because I don't play with the market. I don't play anymore with the market. For me, market is a serious thing. So does the thought of options makes you nervous? I can imagine. Yes. Do you think trading with option is complicated and confusing? Don't worry. Even if you have the slightest idea of how to trade options, don't worry. Okay. This because we will focus on how to have the proper money management. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever lost a penny before? What was your feeling? Okay. I guess that, yeah, I mean, you lost a penny, but it's not a big deal. Okay. So I'm not saying that throw away money, but it's not a big deal when you lose 1 cent, right? Because 1 cent is almost zero risk, not much money. This is the feeling I want you to have when you start a trade with option. Okay, you perfectly know how much you're gonna risk, and that risk must be comfortable for you. Okay. Think about the feeling between a catastrophic loss and losing 1 cent. Okay, that's of course a catastrophic loss is wiping out the account. Okay, losing 1 cent, it's something that doesn't bother you. In most cases, it was because there was too much money at risk compared to the potential profit of the trade. So basically, when you expect a big return, is because you have a lot of risk. Okay. What I would like to show you today in a while is to have a potentially unlimited profit, but with very specific low risk. So everyone knows that even the best trades have losses. And from my side, losses are a part of trading. Okay, are the cost of the business of trading. So that if a trade doesn't have losses, I would be very skeptical about the strategy. Okay. So one of the potential key to success is to know how to manage losses. Okay, this is one of the most important things that I would like you to take away from the webinar of tonight. So what if there is a way of trading where the possible losses are very small compared to the potential profits? Imagine the feeling of losing a trade where the max risk is 1 cent. Okay, imagine how much confidence you would have knowing that your account is always protected, even from multiple losing trades in a row, and being able to squeeze as much profit as possible from winning trades. Okay. But how it is possible to have a better return on profits, like 90% less risk? Okay. After all, we are used to think that big profits require bigger risk. Wrong. There is a strategy with a tool called option, which applied correctly, allow to reduce the risk for each trade. However, it must be applied in a specific way with a complete change of mentality. Let's deep in the formula. I'll show you the basic concept of the formula that we are using with this basic strategy. And if you don't know option, don't worry. The course is studied to be suitable for all the people, even people that don't have any idea of what trading is. If you already instead know option, but haven't made any profit in the past, well, don't worry, because this strategy will for sure improve. I will show you the basic concept and decide if this is for you. So, what are options? If you ask people if they know option, the reaction will be very different. Most of them are in the dark and in confusion about trading option. The main reason is that there are so many strategy and terms to know that it seems like a new language to learn. Most people think that you need to learn all the basic of option before starting to trading, and this is not true. Okay, you can learn the basic strategy, use the very specific strategy we are using, and start profiting from them immediately. So for starting with option, you don't need to know all the details. Why? Because my strategy is focused only on one method. So this is really easy. After trying many strategies in the market, I came to the conclusion that the word simple is always the best way to start. So that's why in this strategy, we buy option call and put. Even if you have never heard about option, this method will be the easiest way to learn how to use option. And even if you already know option, the approach you will see is one of the easiest methods to trade options. Very important. For those unfamiliar with option, this is a very important concept to understand. We buy a call option if we think the market will go up. We buy a put options if we think the market will go down. Okay, so call option if we think the market will have a bullish direction. Okay, on the other side, we buy a put option if we think that the market will be bearish. So knowing this, what do you think that we bought in February, late February, beginning of March? Yes, you're right. We bought a lot of puts, okay? We made a lot of strategy that use put because we wanted to make money from a bearish market. So why using option? Why don't trade stocks or ETF, for example? There is nothing bad against using stock or ETF, as long as you don't mind leaving potentially big profit on the market and taking unnecessary risk. But let me explain a quick example. On my left, there is Chris, and on the right is me, okay? And we both looking on eBay, okay? So Chris decided to invest in eBay and he decided to buy stocks. He bought 100 share of eBay at $34. So for 100 share, the total amount that Scott put at risk is 3,400. Okay, so based on 1,500 portfolio, 15,000 sorry portfolio is 22%. So this is what basically 95% of the trade do. They buy stock because they think the market will go up. In this case, they had a bullish forecast for eBay. On the other side, Marco decided to buy option instead of buying stocks. So basically, what I like to do when I spot like a bullish entry point, I buy a call option. A call is equivalent in leverage to 100 share, but this is well explained in the course. So when I buy one call option at the strike price 32, I pay $3.5. Okay, so the amount at risk is 350. So as you can see on 15,000 portfolio, my risk on basically the same position was 2%. Okay, so do you start to understand how powerful our option? In this case, I have exactly the same strategy. I have exactly the same analysis, but Chris is exposed on his portfolio for 22% on this single trade, while me, I'm exposed for only 2%. Okay, so let's go and see what was the results of this trade. So with the stocks, Chris exited the position like 40 days later when the stocks went to 42, and that's a pretty good result. He had a netted gain of $800, which is like 23% return on investment. Okay, so this is pretty good. But let's see what I did. My option, the one I bought, strike 32 for 350. When the price of eBay went to $15.2. Okay, so that's an incredible return. I netted 1,170, which is an ROI of 334%. Okay, and these results are very common with option because, as I said, they have this leverage embedded, which can give you very easily these amazing results. So let's recap what was the trade. So Chris risked 3,400 for 100 share, while me, I risk only 350 for one call option. As you can see, guys, I had 90% less capital at risk. And let me tell you, if eBay, instead of going up, was, I don't know, just falling, would have been concerned, what, like losing $350. Yeah, I mean, it's not that, losing money is unpleasant, but does that make me worry? Not at all. 350 is a quite comfortable loss for my money management. Okay. Instead, Chris had 3,400, which is 22% of the entire portfolio. I'm sure that Chris would have applied a stop loss strategy, but let me tell you that most of the people, they just don't apply the rule of stop loss. They just, leave the position, start bleeding, and then losing almost all of the capital invested. Okay. That's why it's important to know how to manage the risk. So Chris gained 22% and I gained 334%. Okay, I gained 50 times more in percentage than Chris. In this example, using option instead of stock, you would have 90% less risk and 50 times more profit potential. Okay, this is just one of the beautiful things that you can do with option. This is for a bullish market, but we could have both a put in a bearish market for achieving the same results. Okay. So one of the advantages of using option in this way is that the trade is evaluated and filled in the market in the evening from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. And that's one of the things that I love about trading on the U.S. market, because the U.S. market in this area of Europe, it opens at 3:30 p.m. So, like right beginning of the afternoon, and it closes at 10 p.m. So for me, it's a perfect timing, because I can use the morning to do all the other things that I have to do regarding my company. And then in the afternoon, I can check the market, but I'm always very calm. I'm not rushing, most of the time, I check my position with the smartphone. I don't even, open the platform on the PC. So the strategy, as I said, it's evaluate the entry point in the evening. So like 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m., and it requires a few minutes of evaluation. Before, of course, you have to learn how to evaluate all the stocks. That would take, a little bit more time. But once you learn, it would really take few minutes to say, yes, this is a candidate. Yes, this is a candidate. No, this is not. Very few minutes. So clearly, we must have a very precise in choosing the entry points in order to have a low risk and a high profit potential. So let's see our trading tool. So this on the right that you see, it's the dashboard that my option team and I use on this specific strategy. So as you can see, we have a chart with you can see the price of the stocks. We are using an indicator, which is the Bollinger Band, and we use two oscillators. One is the stochastics, and the other one is the RSI, which are really helpful to decide, if the market is overbought and oversold, and for spotting the exactly entry point. Okay. We also have another oscillator, which is the IFE, and this is one of the last study that we added to the strategy to have more, selected stocks that can be candidate. So with the introduction of this study, we have less stocks, but the percentage of success of the stocks that passed the study is very high. It's almost 90%. Then on the bottom, we have the 120 minutes time frame, on which we have the chart of the stocks with the Eikinashi. Okay, so putting together all this information, as you will see in the course, you will learn how to select with a proper scan, because we teach you how to set up a scan in the trading platform, and it's very easy, and in scan all the stocks in a few minutes, and that's how you choose your candidates. And so we also have a specific spot for the market. We use the SPY and the QQQ, which are the ETF of the SPX and the Nasdaq. And based on the main trend that these two ETF have, then we use which bias choose for our strategy. Okay, so first of all, we choose we look at the chart of SPY and QQQ. We decide if the general market is bullish or is bearish or a sideline. And when we have this information, we go through our dashboard and we launch our screen, and we choose, for example, if the market is bullish, only enter with call. Okay, as opposite, if the market is bearish, we choose to enter only with put. So the trend is your friend is a thing that we we use, and it saved us from losses. Okay, so basically this is our strategy, one of our strategy. It's very simple. It's not a difficult strategy at all. What you need to do, of course, is to learn how option works. So what does it mean to buy a call? And once you have gone through the basic, you will find very easy to choose the right option. Okay. So for us, it is important to have an exact entry and exit rules to limit and maximize the profit. Be careful before placing a trade. Be sure to avoid the #1 mistake that almost all option traders do. So, which is this mistake is to put a lot of money on one position. Okay, so most traders abuse option leverage and allocate too much capital on a single trade. Never use more than 2-3% of your portfolio on a single trade. Okay, and this is valid for every strategy. There are some strategies that we go up to 5-7%, sometimes to 10%, but this is our, let's say, intermediate strategies that you can learn after you have learned the basics. Okay, so this is a step that needs to be done at the beginning. After you have like a general education about the option, then you go more in your education and learn the intermediate and advanced strategy. So remaining disciplined by this money management rule, it is impossible to suffer a big loss on the account. Okay, so you can lose like five losses in a row, and the maximum that you can lose is like 10%. Okay, and actually it's quite difficult to have five losses in a row. Okay, so this is a very simple approach and allow you to trade with option easily. One of the strengths of this strategy is the number of opportunity we have every week, both in the bull market and in the bear market. Okay, so even the main financial publication recognize that option, if used correctly, of course, it can bring great benefits to the portfolio. One of the questions that usually the student ask me during a live course is that they have a stock portfolio which they incur like a 50-60% of loss, and they ask me what I can do what I can do to recover from this loss. Well, the first thing that I tell to the student is, do the stock have options? Because if the stock have options, then we can do something. And the first thing that we can do with option is to protect your stock. And to protect your stock, you buy simply a put. So basically buying a put is like an insurance. Okay, so when you buy a put and the market keeps falling, you lose money on the stock, but the put makes money. And this, the profit from the put, goes to cover the loss of the stock. And in the meantime, the same time, after you bought the put, and in this case, the bleeding is stopped from the stock, you can do another very interesting strategy with option, and you sell a call against the stock. Selling a call, is a concept that is not really easy to understand, but in the course is very well explained with a lot of example. So when you sell a call, what happens is that you have a credit. When you sell something, you get money, and this money goes straight on your account. So basically, selling a call against the stock that you have in your portfolio brings you credit. And this credit also helps your position and decrease the loss. Okay, so this is because the stock has option. If the stock doesn't have option, what can we do? I would say pray, knee and pray that the market will recover. Okay, so the advantages of US option, in this case for our US option course, is that we have a simple way to search stock. You will learn, how to use the platform, which is, it might seem complicated at the beginning, but we don't need to know everything on the platform. We just need to know what we need, what we need for our strategy. So we will explain exactly what do you need. So you have a simple way to search stocks. It takes only an hour of work in the evening, just going to launch the scan, going through the results, find the candidate, evaluate, and then put it on the market. Okay, that's quite easy, and it doesn't take a lot of time, and you can do that in the evening. Okay, you can check the trade, your position from your smartphone. That's what I'm doing. There are also a very nice feature on the platform with the alerts that can they can send you an SMS or an alert on your smartphone if you reach a certain price. So that's one of the things that I really appreciate on trading option, is that I don't have to be stuck in front of the computer all day. And one thing which is very, very important for me is less stress. Less stress in managing the position. In this case, the exit rule are very, very easy, and the maximum loss is little. So I'm not stressed about the position, okay? Because if it goes wrong and it goes in stop, what you lose is very little, okay? And if I don't have time to close the position that day because I'm busy and I can, watch the platform, it doesn't matter, because even if I go to full stop, that's 2% of my account, which is very little. Okay, so I'm not stressed about the position that I have. So the option course, it's a course divided in 10 modules, is 70 videos for 4.5 hours of recording. The course, I would say, it's very well made, because it's like a chapter or a book, okay? Like an index of a book. You have all the chapters, and for every topic, you have the video. And under the video, you have all the quiz that are related to that topic. And if you don't, you have to answer correctly for 80% of the question to go on. Otherwise, you have to, retake the quiz and learn properly the topic. Okay, so this is, it's very useful for see how good is your education in that moment of the course. Okay, what you will see is the basic of options and all the characteristics of option. What is a buy call? What is a buy put? What is a sell call? What is a sell put? Okay, the risk and the reward, and then the trading platform. Trading platform with a very specific tutorial that just drive you to how to set up the trading platform on computer, how to set up the data, how to build the scanner, how to set up the dashboard on the trading platform. Everything is well explained, okay? And then you will have the two basic strategies that we use, the SEM 80 and the weekly cash flow. They are the two main strategies that we use in our option trading room. And the weekly cash flow or swing weekly is also the main strategy that we use for our swing service. The swing service is an educational signal service that we decide to have available for our student, because in this service, Roberto, which is one of my chief trader, is using the strategy and find candidates and sharing with all the people that are subscribed. So it's an easy way to see that your choice, your candidate, they match with Roberto's choice. So it's a good way to keep you in your hands and show you how to apply this specific strategy. Okay, so how to start? You can, of course, click on this link. I'm sure that you will have a link, and you can see the two different options. So we have the US options and the swing service, which is included with the course. Okay, so you can go through the course and then use your swing service to see how we choose the candidate. The price of the course, this is something that it's always, we have to think about, if it's too much, if it's too little. I've seen courses in United States for option that were up to $10,000. Okay, and I've seen courses. I've seen just a video that were like $197. Okay, so of course, what you get when you spend $197, it's completely different, and I'm sure you agree with me when you spend $10,000. So my course in Italy, they go from 1,000 to 3,000. Okay, just for Elite CurrenSea, and because of the friendships that I have with Chris, we decided to lower the price to $8,999 for the first 100 traders. Okay, so I think it's a pretty good, reasonable price for all the education that you get. So with the option course, you have a passive trading package. So you get an access to Ultima EA profit share model with no upfront cost. Okay, trade option and Ultima EA. This is a bonus that Chris wanted to add to this special event. So question and answer. So just to prevent, you might have question. So how many signals, educational signal per week? Well, this depends, of course, on the market. What we do, we usually go through the scanner Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And if there is any candidate that satisfy all our entry criteria, we will send the signal on a chat. Okay, let's say that in this period the market it's very volatile, and it goes up and then it goes down, and with high volatility, so we don't have a lot of candidates, but usually, let's say 1, 2 for week we can evaluate. Okay, We also decided to include in the service the SEM80 strategy. So for sure, there will be like 1-2 candidates a week. Can I trade option if I don't trade stock? Absolutely, absolutely. It's if you don't trade stock and you trade option, that's the best thing to do, you know, if you want to start, because you basically apply the same concept that you applied with stock, but as we saw before, you use a lot less capital. Okay. How much time per week? Well, let's divide this with the course and with the educational signal service. About the course, depends really on you and how much time do you wanna, you know, dedicate to study. And but I think that in 1 month you will be able to have all the necessary experience to start trading. And regarding the swing service, it's you know, it depends on how much candidates do we have after the scanner, but it's really little time. Okay. Are option useful with stocks? Absolutely. As I was telling you guys before, when the students come up to me and ask what they can do, you know, with this particular stock in the portfolio that are losing, this is, I mean, if you have stocks and you want to take your trading level, you know, at the top, you need to learn options. Options are mandatory to save a lot of stocks portfolio. Believe me, guys. What does the course explain? The course already said this, is explain everything you need to know for options, so basic characteristics and all you need to start applying the strategies. Do the strategy include indicator? Yes, we have 1 indicators and 3 oscillators, and don't worry, they are, you know, they are already in the trading platform. Besides one, the FEE study, which we will be send it to you once you buy the course. Can I trade option after the course? Yes, that's that's the main purpose of the course. So right after the course, once you've been going through the tutorial of the platform, you can open your account, and of course there is a demo account. So what you can do, you start immediately applying what you learn in the course directly in demo account, and start become confident about the strategy, about the platform, about options. Okay. Do I get live example trades? Yes, in the swing service, we provide educational signal because we believe that you know, teaching is always something important, but seeing, you know, how we trade is also something very important. So for the beginners, see how we choose the candidate with the same strategy will improve and speed up, you know, your education. Is the course in English? Yes, the course will be in English. All my team will, you know, we will have the webinar included in the signal service. I forgot to mention that with the educational signal service, you also have 1 webinar a month, usually the first Monday of the month, where we will go through all the signal that have been given in the past month. So this is important because we will have, a confrontation with us and ask question and, see why we choose that candidate. And also it will be a night where we'll go through, the scanner and evaluate in real time, all the candidates. So who's the voice recording the course? So this is another really interesting topic. I have two people that with me help me with the courses. So this is my voice. This is Marco Doni voice, and you will, see some videos with my voice and some other video with my team that, they are English speaker. So I hope that you won't have any problem with the language. So can I ask follow-up question? Well, that's our main strength, support is something that my team and I really care. We have a Telegram chat where you can ask a question and my team and I will be, answering immediately. And you can also have, confrontation with other students, and that's important because, when you can, answer to a student question, it's useful for you to see your level of education. This is something that I really like in our Italian chat. Our Italian students, they always help each other because, it's important. The best way to learn is to teach. Okay, so you will have follow-up question. You can ask question in the Telegram chat. You can even send us email and we will be back to you as soon as possible. Okay, oil price, and I guess Chris already gave the name who won the oil price raffle, and I don't remember right now, but I'm sure I remember Roberto Rossi, which is actually a student that I know, but the other two I don't know. So these two people won the course, and I will be happy to have them in the US option course. Okay, guys, I guess we are at the end. We've been an hour and 20 minutes, and I thank you very much for attending to this webinar. I hope I give you some, some value about your trading. Thank you, Chris, for your presentation, and thank you, everybody, and I hope to see you on my US option course. Have a good night. Bye.